They will do it if you...
It's been incredibly moving and inspiring to hear the stories of courage and sacrifice that we've witnessed in the commemorations over the past couple of days, and I think it's been a fantastic way to remember that. We must remember that sacrifice as we go forward, but it is really important to remember that people can rise to greatness without the... It's been incredibly moving and inspiring, and I'm very upbeat. One of the privileges of this job is to go around the schools in my constituency in the Highlands, and I'm very upbeat about the young people that are coming through, their commitment and dedication to their communities, and I think that we really need to create the conditions in this generation to make sure that those young people can rise as far as they can and to be as great as they possibly can. But I believe they not only have the potential to do that, but certainly from my experience, our young people have the potential to go even further in terms of their greatness.
Okay. The man there.
Yeah, hi. Apart from the age of these veterans, are they safe from prosecution?
Well, that's a
Good.
whole other debate. If you'll forgive me, let's not get into that right now and in the dying minutes of the...
Oh, no. That is a key question, darling. That's a key question. And in fact, this programme, this Daily Brexit QT analysis is mistitled tonight because I cocked up. But it's called D-Day 75 Hypocrisy. And I implore you to watch the 3 shows, because they were cut off as well. The 3 shows that constituted the single show with Dan McDavitt earlier, who is a veteran and the guy that set up Veterans for Veterans and is campaigning for Soldier F and Soldiers A to Z. Watch that. And there was a show last week which is called Soldier F. And that, perhaps more so, watch that to find out what that gentleman there was referring to. I'm going to replay his question. I'm not surprised that the BBC do not want that to be discussed.
Apart from the age of these veterans, are they safe from prosecution?
Well, that's a whole other debate. If you'll forgive me, let's not get into that right now and in the dying minutes of the programme. The woman there...
Check out those Daily Brexit shows. Soldier F from 2 weeks ago and the D-Day 75 Hypocrisy. Not this show, nor the one before, which was a cut-off. This show was cut off. Yeah, I don't know why. GCHQ or whatever nonsense. This evening, though, the 7 o'clock show, the regular Daily Brexit show, there was a show there with Dan McDevitt, and watch that. It's in 3 parts because that show the stream was cut as well twice, and so it's in 3 parts. Watch that because Dan is an awesome bloke. There are events going on this weekend in support of these soldiers that are being prosecuted, and they need our support. The hypocrisy of what happened today, the commemoration, all the rest of it was beautiful, gorgeous, what have you. It was very, very moving. However, the hypocrisy is incredible. Seeing people like Theresa May laying wreaths and saying, we thank you, and yet we're prosecuting you, when they're following orders and what have you. I said that what that guy just said there, spot on.
And the striped T-shirt.
I'd say that part of supporting the history of our armed forces is also to support the ones that are currently serving. My brother is in the British Army. He went in at 16. He turned 18 in Afghanistan. He's still serving, and I think we need to be doing more to support the current military. We talk about PTSD. We also need to think about their living standards. And I know that my brother is serving with, when on home soil, they've got no oven, no microwave, they've got mouldy bathrooms. Let's look at the guys and girls that are currently serving for us, and let's give them the support that they need.
Damn right. Maybe just give them some boots that fit. You know what I mean?
The woman there in the green top. The woman there in the green top.
I think as well that recently, with people bandying around the word fascist and Nazi and things like that as well, and taking it out of context, I think it kind of waters down as well exactly how horrific things were then. And I think that's way overused now as well. It's kind of bandied around just like a general insult, and I think people need to be mindful of that.
Well, Piers, the question is, will future generations be as great? What is your view on that?
I think absolutely they can be. I think a lot of it is down to leaders and leadership, inspiring countries. Winston Churchill did an extraordinary job in World War II, I think, in inspiring that generation to rally and defeat the Nazis. So I think leadership is, as we're seeing at the moment, this chronic lack of leadership is part of the problem in this country. I have a brother currently serving abroad as well, and he says that the new crop of young soldiers are as outstanding as any he's seen. So there's an amazing crop of very brave young men and women who are serving in the forces. But I think this thing the Queen touched on was really significant to me, resilience. Now, I'd love to take these D-Day heroes, before it's too late, take them on a tour of our schools and talk to our kids in a way that gives them proper perspective. All I keep reading about all the time, I've got 4 kids, is how this generation is so anxious about everything. They're so worried about everything. And I think, what are you really anxious about and worried about compared to that generation? You know, we seem to be going a little bit soft. And even if you say that, you get criticised by the snowflake brigade. But I think it's important to say it. I do think we need to toughen up. We need to be more mentally resilient. We need to understand perspective. Now, the planet right now is the safest it's ever been. We're living longer and we're living healthier. We're more prosperous than we've ever been. Not for everybody, but generally speaking, it's a pretty damn good time to be alive. That generation, I watched the pictures, the moving footage of these guys going off those boats into the unknown with their friends, knowing many wouldn't come back. You can't even imagine what was in their heads. And so the question is, will this generation or the next one be as great? Well, yes, but let's stop the victimhood culture. Let's stop the blame culture. Let's have some ownership of you and your life and your responsibilities. And let's just toughen up a bit as a country. And let's look at these images from D-Day. And let's remember the reason that they fought and sacrificed many of their lives was for our freedom to be as great in future generations. So let's make sure we are.
Okay. Nikki.
I think it's right that they did sacrifice their lives in many cases for our freedom. And the fact that we're having a debate like this and we're able to have free speech, going back to the protests we started the programme, is a mark of the country that they have left behind and created for us.
Can't we just fast forward this woman? Because she's not said anything useful whatsoever this entire show.
Like that, again, because we talked about serving soldiers, but of course many, many civilians. I think that's what's been revealing about the D-Day, was how many French civilians were killed in Normandy and caught up in the battle. But as a former education secretary, I had the privilege of going around many schools. We're sitting in a school
4
tonight.
kids.
And actually, I think we've got some remarkable
she froze. Good idea. Well done.
young people
Well done.
in this country who are fantastic. And the other thing that struck me recently was listening to the inquest into the London Bridge stabbings, was how brave people were in terms of taking on our police forces who do every day go into danger. People are like our paramedics and others. I absolutely think.
The day after that, the Prime Minister stood outside number 10, didn't she? And she said, we're going to not tolerate this. We're going to not tolerate this. And she's done nothing about it. Nothing.
Well, with that, we are out of time. How lovely to end on a subject like that, and with the greatest respect, not on Brexit and other things, but just to reflect for a moment on what have been.
Right. Okay. So there we go. That was question time. And I'll continue doing this, irrespective of Article 17 EU, because I don't give a stuff about you with an EU. It is fair dealing. So social networks, fair dealing on this content. The BBC is the story because, unfortunately, they are propagandists. It's just a propagandist rag that is in tune with the EU and doesn't give a stuff about the British people, apparently. So, hey, there you go. Look, I want to say thank you very much indeed for tuning in. And I'll catch you on Monday with William Prentice, who's going to be popping in to talk about Melanie Shaw, one of this country's political prisoners for trying to out VIP paedophiles. And there you go. Oh my God. Yeah. What? Look at that. Oh yeah. But why have I got the wrong? I've got the wrong. Oh dear. Look at that. I've got the wrong. I don't know why I've got the wrong thing there. There you go. Propaganda time. That's what it's supposed to say. And the thing is wrong in the description and all the rest of it. I maybe I should edit that. I'll probably edit that, the title and what have you. Please share this, folks, and God bless you. I'll catch you on Monday. Have a good night. Sleep well. Cheerio. Bye-bye.